A book of shadows, a witch's grimoire, a sacred text, a journal, scratch paper where you write stuff down. Today we're going to continue my Witchcraft for Beginners for the Modern Witch series with starting a book of shadows. Hey everyone, it's Anya. Welcome to the season of Anya, where together we are building a really awesome community full of witches and yogis and all sorts of other spiritualists and other practitioners through understanding and diving deep into the intuitive practices of yoga, magic, and witchcraft. By the way, this is part 2 of a multi-part series. Go ahead and make sure, if you haven't already, you've checked out how to set up an altar. This is great whether, again, you're a spiritualist, a witch, a yogi. Having a place to connect to, having a place to meditate is so important in our spiritual journey. The way I'm setting up this series is of most importance, not to least importance, but to more advanced, but we got to start with the basics. So with part 1, setting up an altar, that is, my opinion, the most important part of starting your spiritual journey. So check it out, check it out, check it out. Whether or not you like to define yourself as a witch, I highly recommend for anyone on any sort of spiritual path, through learning yoga, through learning witchcraft, or anything else in between that we cover here on our channel, on my channel, I'd highly recommend starting a book of shadows. We've all seen Charmed, we've all seen Hocus Pocus with those badass, really awesome looking books, right? Rather, I haven't quite figured out how to get them to levitate and open up and go to the page number by themselves. These books of shadows, these spiritual texts have really been an important part of my witchcraft and spiritual journey. Currently, I've got 2 here that I'm working with. This is my first one, and now I've kind of made my way onto my second one. Now, simply put, a book of shadows is where you can put all your information in. What kind of information would you put in a book of shadows? Well, a book of shadows is definitely connected more to witchcraft, but personally, I think yogis should have at least a journal. If you don't want to call it a book of shadows, fine, whatever. But get yourself a journal, get yourself some kind of a text, because basically this text symbolizes your growth. It's something you can look back on. Let's just call it a spiritual scrapbook, to be a little silly about it. But in all seriousness, that's kind of what it is. I have some entries in that book from 6 years ago where I'm like, dang, that's something I really wanted to learn at the time. So what to put in it and where to start? Of course, I'm going to say do whatever you want, but sometimes it's so overwhelming. There's so many different things you want to learn. It's like, where do you even start? Personally, my recommendations would be starting with the moon cycles. Put in an entry about the moon cycles. Full moon, new moon, dark moon. Keep it simple. If you want to throw waxing and waning moon in there, go for it. Talk about their meanings. And then go ahead and define on a spiritual note why we connect with a full moon. We connect with a full moon for release, celebration, setting intentions, etc., etc. And then go ahead and continue on with the other phases of the moon. This is a great start to just really simply learn knowledge and retain it. Also, for my magically inclined spiritualists, you could put spells in there. I have a bunch of spells on my blog and on my YouTube, www.theseasonofanya.com. I will link a couple of my favorites below. Since we're talking about the moon, maybe blessing some moon water, put that spell in there, put that entry in there. This is how you start a journey. And then, depending where you want to flow with things, you can either build off that or put something new in there. If you want to continue to work with the moon cycles, then every time you show up for a full moon, dark moon, new moon, whatever moon cycle you show up for, record it. Put an entry in there. Record a spell. Record maybe just some afterthoughts of your meditation. Make sure to date it. Sometimes with my entries, especially in the beginning, I forgot to date them. And I mean, it's not the end of the world, but also to be like, wow, this was from 2 years ago. This was from 3 years ago. It's cool. It's good to know where your mind was at that time. Other things you could put in your book of shadows. If you're a yoga practitioner, the chakra system, that's a great one. I actually have a free chakra handout. Oh yeah, I'm plugging my video today. I'm plugging my blog today. I'll put that down in the comments below. I tend to be an aesthetic witch, so I love handouts. I love printouts personally. That's why I create them and share them with the community. For example, here's mine of the chakra system. Kind of cool, right? Gives you little feedback, gives you little tools to work with. That way, this information starts to become second nature to you. It starts to actually make sense versus just being like, what the heck is all this information in front of me? What am I supposed to do with it? Part of the connection of my book of shadows and building creativity is my art, is just finding a creative outlet for my art. I don't know how well this is going to translate on camera, but this says, those who don't believe in magic will never find it. And if you're feeling a little extra creative, just get some pages ready for when you're going to need them. I'm definitely a crafty witch and I love to upcycle, and sometimes I don't really have anything of use to put in my book of shadows at that point in time. So I'll just create little future pages that are ready to go. See, isn't that cute? Just a little lace, some scrap paper from Michael, some ribbon. This right here, old tissue paper from a store that I went to. It was so cute. I said, why not upcycle it? That's the essence of being a spiritual practitioner too, is upcycling, is reusing, repurposing. Don't just throw something away. Find a way to put it in there. Put some witchy and inspirational quotes that inspire you in there. I will love myself. I will forgive myself. I will be true to myself. How I treat myself is the standards for how others will treat me. Author unknown. If you want to learn more about deities, just start an entry and get to work. Pick a deity, any deity. Some people may have their opinions on this, but honestly, if a deity is calling you and you do your due diligence and research them and really understand their lore, understand their stories, I personally say go for it, but that's just me. If you want to learn more about herbs, pick an herb a week. Don't overdo it. When I started my first Book of Shadows, which I ultimately ended up just discarding, I wanted to be the best herbalist witch ever. And I just wrote definition after definition after definition. That's not the point. Take your time with this text. This is something that ideally you hang on to for the rest of your life. It is a very sacred, personal text. It's not a race, it's a marathon. And if you want to be the ultimate herbalist, Zen Master 5000, perfect, but just a little at a time. This isn't a homework assignment. This is a lifelong practice. Find a flow that works for you, but don't overdo it. If you want to learn tarot, numerology, same thing. Go ahead and learn those definitions and start to put them in your book. But here's the thing, same with the herbs, with tarot, numerology, symbology. It's great to go online and look up a definition to get you started. Perfect. But continue to nurture and grow your intuitive practice, your spiritual practice by adding to those entries. Just because one person on the internet says Ace of Wands means new beginnings, whatever, does not mean that that's the only definition of Ace of Wands. There is no official witchy guru who is like, this is right and everything else is wrong. No. Or symbology. Maybe to some people, ravens are bearers of bad news, while other ravens are essentially like a crone energy and a messenger. It's not all or nothing, and that's the beauty of our spiritual practice. It is so loosely defined, but just defined enough to tie it all together. So friends, go ahead and share with the community. What do you put in your Book of Shadows? Have you started a Book of Shadows? Do you have a Book of Shadows that you said, yeah, that's going to be my Book of Shadows someday, but I don't want to mess it up? No, don't do that. Just use it, use it, use it. But let others know, what are you working on? What's in your Book of Shadows right now? Lately, I've been putting a ton of spells in mine just because I'm really trying to focus on creating my own spells and really working very rigidly with the new moon or dark moon, depending on my feeling, and the full moon. So every 2 weeks, I'm trying to come up with some type of working, some type of original spell to show up with in my spiritual practice. But that's just me. I'm also trying to publish some books. But that's just me and what resonates with my spiritual practice. So if you like this information, go ahead, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. My memory card is about to die. I hope to God I got some of this video on file. And drop a comment, share with the community, and share this video with your witchy friends so we can grow this community together. So much love, so much gratitude, and so much healing. And I will catch you on the next one, part 3 of Witchcraft for Beginners for the Modern Witch. Mwah.